We've all seen the videos online of federal agents harassing and assaulting members of the community. Maybe you've even seen it in person, not to mention the two horrific incidents that happened at the start of the year. But what you don't see videos of are the private prison companies that make it all possible. This might look like any other building you might drive by in any industrial district in any city in the country. But inside these walls is the heart of ICE's operations in the Pacific Northwest. The facility here in Tacoma is not owned by the state or federal government, but by the private prison company GEO Group. On a quarterly earnings call in 2025, GEO Group Chairman George Zoley described Trump's mass deportation plans as an unprecedented opportunity as they stand to gain $1 billion in additional revenue from both detaining and surveilling immigrants in the country. GEO Group owns over 50 secure facilities and processing centers across the country and made national headlines when detainees at their Newark, New Jersey location, Delaney Hall, went on a hunger strike, reporting rotten food, unsafe medical conditions, and physical abuse. Reports that sound very similar to the things we're hearing coming out of the Northwest Detention Center right here in Tacoma. A detainee named Jose reached out to local activist groups to let them know that he was given dinner with living worms in them. Once he told the director, the staff refused to give him and around 100 other detainees new meals. When asked if he could make a complaint, that same director refused to take him seriously. Another detainee, Augustine Perez, a green card holder who came here when he was just 13 years old, reached out to the same activist group and had this to say. I am hoping for good news. My incarceration here has been stressful for myself and others detained. I have seen a lot of things. The food is not good, and the water tastes nasty. The commissary food is very expensive. A lot of people have no money to feed themselves the right way. But how did we get here? Almost 3 decades ago in the year 2000, back before ICE as we know it today even existed, back then it was the INS, the Immigration and Naturalization Services, Tacoma City Hall voted unanimously to back a non-binding resolution to back the creation of the Northwest Detention Center. 4 years later, in 2004, it opened its doors with 500 beds. Now, today, it has over tripled its capacity with 1,575 beds. At the end of the last decade, Mayor of Tacoma at the time, Marilyn Strickland, voiced concerns about the conditions in the facility in a letter to acting ICE Director Tom Homan. But after pushback from Homan and GEO Group, Marilyn quickly gave up the fight, saying that the facility was set in stone from that city council vote back in 2000, saying that there's nothing we can do. Today, Marilyn Strickland is Washington's 10th congressional district leader. These days, it's incredibly easy to give into political apathy. I mean, there's so much horrible things happening and we can't do anything about it. So what's the point, right? But as we can see, that is just not an option for so many of the most vulnerable people in our community. So what can we do? For starters, be loud. Make sure the people in your life know exactly what's going on. Be that annoying coworker or family member at the Thanksgiving table. Just make sure to be normal. Nothing kills a message like a bad messenger. Next, get out to vote. We are deep in the primary season right now, which means we actually have a really good chance here to elect actual fighters into the Democratic Party, as opposed to people who just write strongly worded letters. Make sure your voices are heard in these city council meetings. I know they can kind of be a slog to get through sometimes, so if you prefer, you can always make a comment on any piece of legislation online. And lastly, but most importantly, get organized. Throughout the age of the internet, we have become more and more isolated from members of our own community. And a divided community is more susceptible to the kinds of tactics that ICE is using. So, go meet your neighbors. Find a candidate in your area whose values actually align with your beliefs and volunteer to canvass for them. And join organizations who are actually on the ground doing the work. None of the statements from detainees from the Northwest Detention Center would have ever been able to reach the public without the tireless work of activist groups like La Resistencia and other groups in the area.